Well, it's been a while since we've gotten a real estate update here in San Diego, and that's probably because we just get tired of hearing the bad news. Louie Ortiz is here today from the Louie Ortiz Group to just get us educated, give us as much information as we can. You hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not getting any better right now, is it?
No, unfortunately not. We are still continuing to see some price declines here in San Diego, and two major reports recently came out, and one of them showed a 20.5% decline in San Diego prices year over year. Another one showed a 22% decline in the median price of a home in San Diego year over year.
Now, I came back into the green room and talked to you for a few minutes just because I like to pick your brain and see if I can find any angle to work on here. And you said, well, as a matter of fact, you know, some of the experts were saying that they thought we'd be in a recovery by this time.
Yeah, I remember reading last year that several people were predicting that we'd see some stabilization, but the numbers seem to suggest that we're still going to be in for a little bumpy ride for a little bit.
How far can it go? I mean, are we going to give back all the gains of the last 10 years, or are we already giving those back?
It's really hard to say. None of us really have a crystal ball. We just kind of have to wait and kind of see what the market dictates. But the fact that there's an increasing number of bank-owned properties coming on the market, and I still think we're going to see a little bit of a bumpy decline for a little bit.
Now, making this worse, I would think, is maybe the price of gas right now, and the fact that that's rippling through the entire economy. Yeah. You know, I live way out in Alpine. If I was getting ready to sell my house right now, I'm not sure people would want to look at making that drive right now. Yeah. I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, are you hearing that kind of thing?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is I talk to a lot of buyers and sellers every day, and I think that the gas really is in the minds of consumers, and it kind of has a mindset. And it does kind of keep people wondering, well, what's going to happen with the economy? Is it really a good time to buy a house or sell a house? So.
Okay, so what's your advice to folks then right now? And I guess, you know, it depends on whether you're buying, selling, or holding.
Well, if we know that the prices are declining, recently the San Diego Association of Realtors, for example, said that there's about an 8-month supply of inventory, so we need to kind of work through that. If you're going to sell your house, it may be a good time to sell if you have to sell it, because the longer that you wait, you may see a little bit further price decline. If you're a buyer, there's some great opportunities out there. In fact, we just saw this past month an increase from March to April in home sales, but mainly because of all the bank-owned properties. So for buyers, just do your homework out there and look for some of those bargains, because there's some great prices out there.
Now, of course, buyers are going to be thinking, wow, I'm going to time this thing out and try to hit it when it hits the bottom of the market here. And, you know, I imagine we'll wallow around in the bottom for a while, and we'll kind of have some sense of where that is. But doesn't it kind of depend on how long you're going to plan on living in a home?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to buyers all the time, and all of them say, well, Louie, when are we going to hit bottom? I'm waiting for us to hit bottom. Well, the only time we're really going to know is when the prices start to go up, and by then it might be too late. So I would encourage buyers to, look out there. Look for that home that they want, and look for that value today. There's some great buys out there.
And is the mindset shifting slightly from your home as an investment to your home as a place to live in, which is probably what it was always intended to be in the first place?
Yes and no. It just depends on the people. A lot of people feel that this is just going to be a temporary situation, and historically, real estate has always appreciated in value in San Diego County. It's just the mindset of the consumer.
So you still don't see real estate as a bad investment,
Absolutely
but you got to be smart.
Absolutely. It's a great investment.
What about interest rates? What are you hearing?
Interest rates are still stable. They're around 5.9%. I've spoken to some mortgage brokers recently to see if that's really spurred things. The problem is a lot of the lenders have been a little bit more strict with the lending requirements and the guidelines, so it hasn't really helped too much, those low interest rates.
All right. You looking at anything long-term right now? 1, 3, 5 years? Do you have any? I know you don't have the crystal ball, but you make your best guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff. I think again, we saw just this past month an increase in a lot of bank-owned properties being bought, and I think a lot of smart investors out there are seeing that, and they're taking advantage of that. And I think that this will turn. I don't really know exactly when. I still think we're going to see a little bit of a decline. I would hope sometime next year. I would hope to see some stabilization.
Now, it used to be folks would sell their homes here in California and move right over to Phoenix.
Yes.
Are we still seeing that kind of movement?
No, as a matter of fact, San Diego was had the fifth largest price decline in all the major cities in the United States. Phoenix was number 3, so there's some price declining there as well.
So there was a huge run-up over there in Phoenix, and I was over there for part of that and actually saw that happening. Okay, so Vegas, Miami, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, are there any bargains around the country?
Absolutely, and many of these cities have great bargains for the same reasons. A lot of bank-owned properties are coming on the market. But when we look at these statistics, one of the things that we really have to also note is that these cities also had the highest appreciation when the market was at its high.
Right.
So it's not all bad news.
So folks had a lot of equity.
Absolutely.
Or at least on paper.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, I guess that's the thing to remind folks too, is if you're not buying, if you're not selling, if you're just sitting in your house right now, so what?
Yeah, hang on.
It's all paper.
Exactly.
It's just numbers on paper until you actually decide to do something.
Exactly.
Okay, Louie, it's always great to have you here.
Great.
Thank you so
Mark.
much
Thanks
for the
having me.
insight. And we'll talk to you soon. Again, Louie Ortiz from the Ortiz Group. I got something in my eye, and I'm sitting here. I'm not really crying over the real estate rates.
I hope it was something I said.
And the sales. Not something you said. No, really. All right. Coming up, we'll check in with Ruben for a live preview of this year's